What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this The Flash 90s episode breakdown. I woke up and checked Twitter to see people absolutely hating on this episode, but anything remotely tangibly linked to the 90s, boy, I'm gonna love, especially with the Space Jam reference. We have seen this episode as Flash's WandaVision, which, yes, I think that's pretty apt. We open with Central City going crazy as a dishes worker comes out of work, only to see all the sorts of madness with a soldier from the past and a dinosaur. Surely this is a daily occurrence for Central citizens, and we head into 24 hours before this as Barry is still healing, and I enjoyed it so much this episode that I've only just realised when I was writing the script that Barry wasn't really actually in the episode that much, if at all, as we focus on Chester and Cisco's bromance. Severely one of the best things of this season. The Speed Force is helping Barry heal, which is making her weak as Chester comes in, and I loved how he reacts to a major force like the Speed Force just standing there just like it should. Chester is becoming a favourite of mine, and he has worked on a Force early detection system that can not only spot Force users, but new Force users, as Caitlin and Killer Frost have an odd couple of situation over art. I swear they're just trying to make Killer Frost kooky for kooky's sake. That's the problem they had with Katie Sackhoff's character, which really I'm not a fan of, as Chester and Cisco head out to near where Chester grew up to set up the isotope machine, which breaks as a green barrier envelops them, which is the Still Force. The Still Force is a cosmic force like the strength, speed and sage forces around inertia and entropy, essentially messing with time, but is probably one of the most powerful of the forces, as it can stop the universe expanding and mess with aging. One very cool Easter egg was how Cisco muses it could be the Turtle who has a similar-ish power in the Arrowverse, but in the comics he would become a Still Force conduit in a stunning storyline involving future Flash. They are trapped and lose all things from the future, including their phones and van. We also have the weird storyline of Iris and Nora talking about Barry and his blanket, which was just so very, very weird. I find the Speed Force taking the form of Nora very jarring, and I'm not surprised it's hard for Barry with the thing that gives him power taking the form of his murdered mother. It's just so dang weird. Now, Iris later even invited her to stay with him, and it's a bizarre arc in an otherwise pretty decent episode. Cisco and Chester realise where they are, complete with Blockbuster Video and Space Jam in stock on VHS. Man, the VHS of that was impossible to get, and I'm glad I pre-ordered my copy way back in the day. They see people walking around in 90s clothes, and it's 1998, but everyone is dressing like they're from Saved by the Bell. I think they just merged all of the 90s fashions into one hot mess here. They think it's Turtle 2.0 causing this, but realise it's just a new force, and they need to locate the person who has the powers, and they go to a school where they work out it's emanating from, as they have a costume change, making it look like they just jumped out of Do the Right Thing. They interview each of the students, which made me laugh, with a dumb jock and a rocker girl, or grunger as we call them in the UK, saying the future is going to be a corporate stooge world, which, yeah, she wasn't very wrong, was she? Except it's the tech guys who are running the world now. When talking to the dumb jock, a guy pops out called Dion, who just got a brand new flip phone, and they interview the Kit Boy Parker as the device spiked when they see him, as they talk about the Matrix, except he says it's not out yet, and they went, hey, how did you know that? And we learn, well, it just wasn't him. He was just a patsy trapped like the Westview citizens in WandaVision. A very weird crossover here, but I thought it was pretty darn cool. They need to work out what is so special about December the 4th, 1998, and the temporal sensor has broken, which Chester can fix, except they need a power converter. That was a terrible, terrible Luke Skywalker impression there, only for the last one to be bought by his father. It turns out that this is the last day he saw his father alive, and his history expansion of Chester was very nice to see, and it's good to see that what was originally, I presume, just a monster of the week, for lack of a better term, character, get a real fleshed out story as he tries to get the converter from his father. Now he has to suck it up and go and see his dad, and I laughed when he said his name was John Boyega there. And we get a moment that reminded me of Tony Stark meeting his dad in Endgame, which is funny as I'm wearing an Endgame t-shirt. Just a little insight there into behind the scenes. But just earlier we see Chester prize some parts from a dumpster to Cisco's disgust, but we learn why he was like MCU Peter Parker, salvaging parts, as his father taught him to be resourceful and bought the part for his son to teach him a lesson. Chester finally realizes why his dad was so distant, and it was a beautiful moment. They managed to fix the temporal sensor, only for the twist here to come, as it was Dion all along, the star jock who got a fancy new phone. And believe me, back in 1998, that was like seeing an iPhone for the first time. It turns out that he is living his life in a Groundhog One Division way because his football career was in tatters, as he was supposed to be the next Patrick Mahomes, except he got injured in the first quarter as the second string quarterback took the glory. He then became a used car salesman. Now Chester tried to convince him to change his viewpoint, but Dion was trying hard, but it didn't work. He didn't get to change his life. And, well, we see him expand the temporal mess. And it was funny seeing Team Flash have different time periods dress, and a nice little callback there to Joe wearing his musical episode attire. From Chester convinces Dion he can change other people, as while his football moment is a fixed point, he can make his life better by affecting others, so we have the situation much, much worse now. Now, I imagine he will use it to negate the Speed Force at some point, just like what Turtle tried to do. However, they're back at Star Labs, as all of the forces get their proper names, and something seems sus with Nora Speed Force Allen. I'm not really sure what to call her. Let me know what you want me to call her in the comments. And she is just not Yellow Lightning, but all manner of colours surrounding her. We know the forces came from the source pulled together by the presence, essentially God, and Lex Luthor tried to control them in the absolute mental story with Perpetua. And I really do recommend try and check that out. I think you want to pick up a graphic novel that has all the tie-ins with Year of the Villain and such, as it is a story which is absolutely stunning. And I do wonder if this here is an adaptation of Perpetua from the Omniverse beyond the source wall. We also get a cliffhanger with Killer Frost warned by Joe about Kristen, and Chester finishing his father's inventions, two stories which may progress over the season-long episodes. But that is it. I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was a great watch, and I did enjoy, well, for what it was. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please drop a like down below. Please do subscribe with notifications on. I hope you have an awesome day, and I may be back tomorrow with a breakdown on Kung Fu, but I'll see you soon, and goodbye.